Hi there. Happy Tuesday. How are you? Hopefully you're having a great day so far. Fox 35 Storm Team Meteorologist T.J. Springer here in the Storm Center for Fox 35 Weather Plus. It has been a beautiful week. If you've been out and about, maybe you're here on vacation, maybe you're staycationing, and you're getting out and enjoying all the beautiful conditions that we have right now, because it is going to be the theme not just today but really through the majority of our week ahead. Look at the view right now. This is out over I Drive. Weigh in. Let me know where you're watching from. We'll talk about our question of the day here in a moment. Hello, Berlinda. How are you? I see you're watching on YouTube. Love to see it. We're live on Fox Local, we're live on Facebook, and we're live on YouTube. Again, if maybe you've never seen this before, we do this show at 3 o'clock each and every weekday. I believe we're in our third month already, maybe. I feel like time is just flying by. I still can't believe that Thanksgiving's next week. I feel like we should have one more week before Thanksgiving, but it is here, that is for sure. But it's going to be beautiful if you're expecting to get out maybe for a long weekend here locally. It looks like high pressure going to continue to drive our weather pattern. Still going to have the potential for some fog as we progress through, not just tonight, but usually when you have a setup like this, you have the light wind and starry sky, and temperatures are able to drop close to those dew points, so you get that fog, and really the lack of wind doesn't stir up the low levels of the atmosphere, and we've seen some of that fog over the last few mornings. Berlinda, I love that you're watching in Kissimmee. That's great. I'm going to pull up Facebook here as well and see if we have any comments there. Hopefully not missing any of those. And while I'm at it, you know what? I'm actually going to share this on Facebook myself. While I'm thinking about it, let me throw up the question of the day, all right? So we're switching gears. I know if you've been watching, we've been asking a lot of holiday-related questions. But this one is not necessarily holiday related, but I know this has been a big movie that's been leading up to the holiday season. Wicked for Good. Anybody going to go out and see that on opening night? Let's see, that would be, I don't even know what today it is. Today is Tuesday. I feel like I was off of work yesterday, so I feel like I'm all out of sorts. I'm like, who is it? Who am I? What day is it? So that would be Thursday. Thursday night, I think that is technically it comes out on Friday, but Thursday is the night that you'll be able to get tickets for. Alice, how are you? Hi, Allie. How's it going? Thanks for watching. Yeah, I mean, I feel like this is going to be one of those movies that people are going to be talking about, just like with the first Wicked movie. We've had stories on our air talking about the fun food and drinks that they're offering over at Universal leading up to the premiere, and it's going to be real. I think I'm really excited. I've only seen it on Broadway once, but I have seen it touring performance of it, and obviously I've seen the movie. But I'm curious if anybody's going out to see it, because I think it is going to be a really fun time. But we'll go back to the weather and talk a little more about our setup, not just today, but leading through midweek and onward. Let's see, it's 3:03, just about 3:04. If you're just joining us, hi, happy Tuesday. Another live look. Really a lack of cloud cover. Had a weak cold front move through over the last 24 hours, kind of a backdoor cold front, and didn't move through with any sort of impacts, but slightly cooler, and we'll still have a little chill around tomorrow morning. I was just talking with Garrett Weimer, one of our digital anchors, and it's funny because, as you know, this time of the year, we can get swings in temperatures, and we've already had that once this fall season, had the chill around early last week. But it feels like you can almost have two different outfits, one for the latter half of the day when it's warm, and then one for the early morning or late evening when temperatures are starting to tumble. All right, let me make sure I'm not missing any comments here. All right. Yeah, it's beautiful out there. That's our Evermore Resort camera peeking off to the southwest. There's the current setup, radar picture, satellite picture. You can see where that cold front is, and it's still kind of draped back to the west just a little bit, but overall, ridging in the upper levels of the atmosphere are going to continue to drive our temperatures to stay above normal. That's going to be our story through midweek and onward, really. But we'll talk about this a little later on. It's looking like at least some longer range data suggests another potential push of more Arctic air, at least, modified Arctic air for us. But that's something that we'll be potentially seeing later on next week, late Thanksgiving week into next weekend. So still some time to see little tweaks and changes, but it's looking like that could be something that could potentially throw some wrenches in travel plans if you are flying through the sky later on next week. But at least for now, for us in the southeast and for us in Central Florida, not looking like any sort of big concern. Hi, Medalia. How are you? Yeah, I'm with you. I honestly, I may have been an outlier. I actually really enjoyed the cold snap early last week. I mean, granted, I was shivering in the 40s, which is, I feel like, working in much colder locales than the Sunshine State. I'm like, what? Why am I shivering? Why am I so cold? But yeah, it's one of those things where it's almost like a novelty, right? When we get those big pushes of cold air, that Arctic air to sink this far southbound, it's always kind of fun. And obviously, those that remember getting the snow last winter, that was something unbelievable as well. All right, tonight we are expecting, as I was mentioning, that potential for some fog. If you're getting out early on tomorrow morning, whether that be out for the commute or you're getting out for any sort of driving early in the day, just something to watch. Remember your low beam headlights. Think about leaving a little extra distance between your vehicle and the one in front of you. Thanks, Medalia. I appreciate it. It's a beautiful name. It's such a pretty name. I'm glad I did you justice. A little cooler for our Fox 51 locales across Alachua, Levy, Dixie, and Gilchrist counties. Outlying spots there, lower 50s. So I would say that's still probably warranted. Warranting grabbing a hoodie or a light jacket early tomorrow morning before temperatures climb back above normal. A little cooler near the coastline. Upper 70s from New Smyrna southbound, right around 80 in Titusville, Cocoa Beach. But inland, Bushnell, Winter Haven, mid-80s, around 82 in Orlando. Once that fog lifts, once that fog mixes out, it'll be a really nice and pleasant afternoon, just like what we have out there right now. Maybe you're staycationing, maybe you're just taking the day off and you're heading to Disney, making a Magic Kingdom Wednesday. It looks beautiful. Look at all the sunshine. Just a few clouds tomorrow. Mid-70s through 11 o'clock, around 82 for the Festival of Fantasy Parade and then Happily Ever After. You can see how quick temperatures drop with the help of the clear sky. All that heating just gets lost to space when you don't have any clouds out there, so temperatures can really drop fast, and we're back in the upper 60s for the fireworks, for the Happily Ever After fireworks spectacular tomorrow evening. So, you may, if you're prone to getting chilly, maybe want to throw a windbreaker or a light jacket in the backpack if you're getting out to the theme parks tomorrow. Okay, so here is an even bigger picture setup. You can see that little dip in the jet stream. Cooler than normal conditions up across some of the international border, New England, even the mid-Atlantic. But this cool air, it's even though we were close to seasonable norms this morning, if not maybe a touch below average, you can see the ridging. You can see all the warmth across the plains, the upper Midwest, the deep South, all of that warmth, a result of this ridge of high pressure, and that's what's going to be essentially taking center stage as we progress through the remainder of the week. You can see temperatures across Texas running around 10 to 15 degrees above normal, even across portions of Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama. Alice, yes, it was a great night. I'll have to share some photos. We had a fun time. Yeah, I know I mentioned this over the weekend, being that I was off yesterday. I mentioned it I think on Sunday after the wrap, but we were out, and if anyone's done it, or has not done it, I should say, highly recommend. We did Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party on Sunday, and we ended up doing Jollywood Nights at Hollywood Studios on Monday, last night. And it's funny, I was talking to our news director, Melissa. She's made a brief appearance on After the Wrap before, but she was telling me this morning that she's taking the family to Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party. They're both really fun. I would say that between the two, Jollywood Nights feels a little more like a Christmas party that you're going out to with friends. Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party, it's more nostalgic, and you get cookies throughout the night, free cookies and fun festive drinks like hot cocoa and eggnog and things like that. But with Jollywood Nights, the entertainment doesn't feel adult per se, but they have some fun festive drinks and festive food. So if you're a local and you can maybe save a night for some festive holiday fun, it is highly recommended. But thanks, Alice. Yeah, it was a really good time. It would have been nice if we had the cool weather, right? If we had the cool temperatures that we had early last week, it would have really put you in the holiday spirit. Now, for those of you that don't know, with a little help of Disney magic, it does snow at these events, quote unquote. It's not real snow, but it's what they call snope. It really looks like snow when you're standing there in the park and it's flying through the air, but it's just a little touch of festiveness to really, especially if you're someone that has grown up far from Florida and has dealt with the cold and dealt with the snow and loves the snow. It definitely makes it feel like the holidays, that's for sure. But temperatures, if you're wanting that chill to come back, at least for the rest of our work week, it's not looking like we're going to have any sort of major cool downs. Welcome back, Fox Local friends. And just a little PSA, if you are watching on Fox Local and you want to join in the conversation, you can pull up Facebook or YouTube on your phone. So if you want to ask a question or weigh in on a question of the day, which I'll pop back up here in a little bit, you can certainly do so that way. But this is the setup as we head through late week and really into this upcoming weekend as well. You can see this ridge of high pressure driving our above normal conditions, above normal temperatures, and really it's looking like, aside from that being a weather headline, more sunshine and more dry conditions. But it's looking like, at least as we head closer to the weekend, late in this weekend and early next week, there is going to be a weak cold front that could bring the potential for maybe a shower or two. But right now, chances are pretty slim. You can still see temperatures. I mean, it's not quite as noticeable here in Florida. We'll be running, only really a couple few degrees above average, but to our north and west across Georgia, back closer to the plains and the upper Midwest, temperatures really going to be above normal for this time of the year. Now, this is looking closer to our Thanksgiving time frame. Thanksgiving Eve, temperatures going to be above normal. We'll likely get a little drop in our temperatures behind the cold front, not a big drop, but it's looking like this cold front, which is the one I was talking about earlier in the show, this is the one that we're going to have to monitor, because it does look like, at least some of the data, some of the long-range ensembles, which you've probably heard us mention that term before, the ensemble data, it essentially takes multiple scenarios in the atmosphere, blends them together, gives us a better handle on how a scenario in the atmosphere will present itself. But that chance is there for another shot of cold, but is it as cold as some of the data is showing now, or is that not the case? But notice, you can see as we head closer to Black Friday, temperatures trying to drop a pretty good deal, and especially for some of our communities across the Mid-Atlantic. You can see Pittsburgh only at 35, St. Louis around 35 degrees, freezing in Detroit. But for us, it's not looking like temperature is really going to be, at least for now, not as cold as what we had with this Arctic blast early last week. But we're still a week away plus, so some little tweaks are possible. But certainly the chance for some below normal conditions in the near future. But notice, looking even further down the pike, this is November 26th through December 2nd. Still a pretty solid chance that we'll have above normal conditions in this time frame. And a lot of times, as we get deeper into the winter with this La Nina setup, that's usually what happens for us. Warmer and drier in the Sunshine State. But I'm sure just like we had, you can get extremes one way or the other, and it'll be interesting to see what happens as we get deeper into fall and closer to the start of meteorological winter, which, believe it or not, is actually not that far away. December 1st officially begins what we call meteorological winter, really weather winter, and just a sign that climatologically speaking, that's when we have our coldest conditions of the year, and that's why we don't, even though winter begins on the calendar later in December, that's kind of how we look at winter in the weather world, if you did not know that. Looking at the next 7 days, mainly dry, bright, beautiful, still some cool mornings, again, fog possible over the next couple, really, honestly, fog could be possible if we don't get the wind to increase each and every night. That's just the kind of setup that we're in. But at least over the next couple nights, you'll probably want to watch that. Now, notice I have that 10% chance of rain in the forecast for Sunday. That's that cold front that I was talking about. Right now, chances for rain pretty slim, but that next system it looks to move our way will be getting closer to us Wednesday into Thanksgiving and beyond. But it has the potential to spread some certainly unsettled conditions across some portions of the country. So if you're one that is, you're going to be traveling, and this would be through portions of late next week, it's looking like at least the chances there for some snow across the heartland, maybe the upper Midwest as this system starts to move across the country. Not looking like anything major right now, but something to certainly watch. And then it looks like another system trails behind that. So a little heads up if you're going to be traveling closer to Thanksgiving and into next weekend. But right now, let me see if we're getting any comments. Elizabeth, how are you? Hello to you in Titusville. Thanks for hopping on. I appreciate it. Just a heads up, if you're watching us on Fox Local, I'm going to take another little 2-minute break here at 20 past the hour. So if you do want to pop on Facebook or YouTube, you can certainly do that. If you have any weather questions or you want to weigh in on our question of the day, which I'm going to pull back up right now. Okay, here we go. Who's going to go see Wicked for Good, either this week or planning on seeing it at all? It's funny because I was trying to think the last time I've gone to the movies, the last time I've seen a movie in theaters, and I feel like it's been a minute. It's been probably months, to be honest with you. But usually I'm not one to pre-purchase tickets or anything like that, but did that in this case just because I feel like it's going to be one of those movies that continues to book up theaters and sell out. But yeah, I feel like it's going to be really cool to see. For those that love this theatrical production, loved the first one, loved the stage production of Wicked, I believe there are a couple of new songs that are going to be on the soundtrack and in the movie that are never before heard songs. So it'll be really cool. I know there's been a lot of hype with this, not just here on the parks, with Universal doing some fun things in Universal Studios, but just I feel like I've seen I've seen like restaurants doing themed drinks, themed wicked drinks. One pink for Glinda, one green for Elphaba. So it's not just the movie world that's getting pumped up for this, but I think it seems like there's just wicked everywhere you turn. So it'll be cool. Now, I know I talked about this earlier on this week. Maybe if you've watched over the weekend, we were talking holidays. With the nice conditions, with the warmth, the sunshine, do any of you have plans to get out and maybe decorate the yard if you haven't done so already? You know, it's funny. I was driving through the neighborhood on my way out to work today, and I noticed a lot more homes that have been decked out in their holiday best. Now, granted, I am not one of those just yet. Planning on doing so either tomorrow, maybe Thursday, when I'm off of work. I have decorated the inside of the house for the most part. Have not decorated the outside of the house. But that's the one perk of living in Florida, right? You know, it's always so tough if you live in a colder climate. You have to get out there in the cold conditions, up on the ladders. You're going to put lights around the house, and you know you're going to be out there all day long. That's something that we don't really necessarily have to contend with here in Florida, at least for the bulk of the season, which is great. Now, I've not gotten our Christmas tree up. I know that many of you have. I've heard that you have. So if you have, that's great. I'm planning on getting a real tree up in our house. That's something that ever since I was a kid, we've always had a live tree in our family room. And ever since I've been out on my own, I've always done that as well. Welcome back, Fox Local friends. So yeah, I don't think, at least from what I've seen, there have been a lot of quote-unquote tree farms up just yet, but I have seen some of the bigger box stores getting their setup ready to go, which I'm sure maybe they'll be up even before Thanksgiving, early next week. I think last year we had gotten our tree up in the stand before the turkey was in the oven, so I'm pretty sure that's probably going to be the situation again this year. And speaking of Thanksgiving, has anyone already gotten their plans together for what they're doing on Thanksgiving, being that it is just over a week away? Last year, it was pretty quiet, and it was only my second year ever cooking. I had cooked like some sides before and brought those over to, you know, friends' houses, families' homes for Thanksgiving and Friendsgiving. But last year was my only second time ever cooking a turkey. Knock on wood, you know, if you're a Christmas Vacation fan and they burned the turkey and they cut the turkey open. Thankfully, that did not happen. The turkey was actually really, really moist. It was really tasty, but I was a little worried about that. Elizabeth, you're saying where's the best Thanksgiving yard decor? Seems like it's all Christmas. Yeah, you know what? It's funny that you mentioned that because I've seen people in our neighborhood go right from Halloween directly to Christmas. No, for the most part, no harvest or Thanksgiving decor. I have seen a few homes that have like inflatable turkeys up in the yard and some fun decor like that, but you're right. I feel like you don't see a lot of that, which I think that's where the big divide and the big debate comes in. Do you wait for Christmas decorations until after Thanksgiving? Do you wait to put the tree up? Do you wait to go do anything holiday related? I feel like I'm one of the people that kind of jumps the gun, and I know that can be upsetting to some people. I have to say, I think it's really because of I kind of love the joy of the holiday season, and I know the holiday season can be tough as well for so many people. But I think, you know, the goal of the holiday season is always to bring hope and joy to people, and I think that's why I'm one of those people that kind of love getting the jump on the holiday season, because, you know, it comes so fast, right? And then it feels like it's over as quickly as it gets here. So that's my personal opinion, but I'm definitely one to jump in and get the Christmas music going a little bit earlier, and just getting in the holiday feels. But I've heard some of you say, hey, I enjoyed the cold. Are we going to have more cold? Are we going to, because it feels like when you have cold conditions in Florida, it kind of completes the holiday vibe. But, when you have a view like this one, you can go out there after cooking the turkey, cooking Thanksgiving, hanging out with friends and family, and then you can go look out at a view like we have over Lake Fairview, lots of sun. You can't go wrong with that. Or if you want to go out to the beach on Thanksgiving, there aren't too many places where you can do that. Kind of have, excuse me, have the kind of conditions that we have here in Central Florida. I feel like that's why we say we love Florida, because we can go out on a late fall day or early winter day and have beautiful sunshine-filled conditions with temperatures that are in the 70s and 80s. Let me see if I'm missing any comments here. If anybody, we only have a few more minutes left. If you have a question or you want to weigh in on anything, I can throw back up our question of the day here one more time, just for old time's sake. Let's see here. Also, while I'm on the topic of Thanksgiving, this is something that I've never done, and I'm debating on if I want to do it this year or not. I've never baked a pie before, and I'm debating if I want to try to do that, or I just go and get one that's from the store already pre-made or frozen, and you kind of prep it up. All right, let's see. There is our question of the day. Just a couple more minutes left of Fox 35 Weather Plus. So if Phyllis, how are you? Hello, all the way in the Midwest. Where are you watching from in the Midwest? I love it. Thanks for hopping on. Thanks for joining us. I lived in the Midwest for such a long time, and I can think of many Thanksgivings where it was brutally cold outside. I was decked out in all the warm weather accessories. Thanks for hopping on, Phyllis. I appreciate it. Make sure I'm not missing any other comments real fast. I don't think we are. Don't think we're missing anything on YouTube either. But I appreciate all your questions, comments, concerns, if you've had any. And again, we do this each and every day. Fox 35 Weather Plus, right here at 3 o'clock. Myself, Laurel, Noah, Brooks, Jess, if they've got something fun to share with us. It's a fairly new show that we've started, and we're also, aside from seeing Garrett on Fox Local, we have a new show weekends as well. After the wrap, 10:30 to 11, myself and Hannah, each Saturday and Sunday morning. And I know we've seen a lot of you hop on and weigh in, which we so appreciate it. But another new show to talk about before we leave you for the afternoon, Marlisa Goldsmith coming up at 4 o'clock, the 407. There's some really fun giveaways too. So we met actually a wonderful viewer who won a $500 gift card on the 407. That could be for gifts. It could be for just about anything, which is great. Could be for Thanksgiving food. Could be for a little vacation. So join Marlisa at 4 o'clock right here on Fox 35, the 407. Really fun show. And get this, just like weighing in on Fox 35 Weather Plus, you get to choose the news. So it's really interactive. It's really fun. And we love getting to hang out with Marlisa each and every day from 4 to 5. So join in. And then, of course, know I have the latest this evening on the rest of our forecast, what's churning the rest of our work week and beyond at 5 and 6. And I'll be back at 8 We hope you have a great rest of the day, and we will see you soon. Stay safe and have a great night.